welcome to Fiber at 4. This is Christiana coming to you live from the Longmont Yarn Shop, and it's great to be back. If you didn't see Gail's Facebook post earlier this week, she and I were in Grand Rapids, Michigan at a retail summit, and it was great. I got to meet Holly and Chrissy from Bella Filati Yarns. It was nice to put, faces with names. So hi Holly, hi Chrissy. And our customer Catherine, who happens to live in Grand Rapids, picked us up from the airport. And then on the way home, or on the way back to the airport, she took us to the sculpture gardens she volunteers at, which is the Frederick, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, Mejure Sculpture Garden. And if you are ever in Grand Rapids, go to this place. It is fantastic. There are plants, there's art, there's sculpture. It's so awesome when I keep hitting the mic cord. So it's great to be back home. And hey Nancy, hey Mom. So while we were gone, I did finish another project. I did most of this on the plane. And part of it I actually messed up because I haven't flown in such a long time. I was a little bit of a nervous wreck, so I had to take it out and start over, but that's okay because it's all right. So I did, it's either Benedita or Benedetta. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this is a pattern by Allison Green from Barocco Yarns, and this is from the Summer Sesame, and I have not blocked it yet, so please don't be too harsh on this piece. But here's where I messed up. I messed it up at the bottom. It's done in a circle around the base of the sweater, and I somehow twisted it. So I had to take it apart and start over. But this is the Summer Sesame yarn. For a Christiana size, the pattern said 4 balls, but I only ended up using about 2 1/3, 2 1/2. So, and once I block it, I'm going to get a little bit more length out of it. But I am segueing to one of the products I want to show you guys tonight. This wasn't part of the original theme for tonight, but I'm so excited about this product. I wanted to share it with you guys and add it to the Fiber at 4 shopping category. These are the Coco Knits claw clips. I use these to put that sweater together, and oh my gosh, they were super, super helpful. The clips clip into the fabric, the knitted or crochet fabric, that sweater's crochet, and it holds it in place without splitting the yarn. So, oh my gosh, these were really, don't go to sleep, don't go to sleep, ah. They were really, really helpful. Sorry, I'm having technology issues. There we go. So we've got the normal claw clips. These are clear plastic, and then we also have plastic-free claw clips. These are made from a plant-based fiber. They're both $5.99 and come with 12 pieces, and super, super helpful when you're seaming a project together. I can't recommend these guys enough. They made sewing that sweater so much easier. So anyway, happy Father's Day, everyone. And today I'd like to go over some project ideas that we came up with for Father's Day. I know it's kind of late because, it is Father's Day, but this would be a great thing to put on an IOU instead of a Father's Day card, or I've got some project ideas too that are pretty quick, so you can make them probably in a couple hours. So the first guy I want to show you, first idea I had was sweater vests. I was actually in a meeting with one of our manufacturers, and they said that sweater vests are incredibly on trend, incredibly popular, and they plan on them staying that way until probably 2023. However, I feel sweater vests are not really a trend. I feel they're kind of a classic staple. They're easy to dress up, they're easy to dress down, they're just right if you need just a little bit of warmth but don't want to put on a full sweater. So I found a couple really great patterns on Ravelry that I want to share with you guys. So believe it or not, this one is crocheted. So I'm trying to do both a knit and crochet project to show you guys. So this is crocheted. It's using an Aran weight yarn. This particular pattern is called Summit Men's Sweater Vest. And it's by Jennifer Renard. That's R-E-N-A-U-D. Isn't that cool? It doesn't even look crocheted, but it is really, really awesome. And I wish they had done it in a different color yarn because it's very hard to see the texture on here, but there is a little bit of light texture in there. So for this guy, my yarn recommendations, first of all, would be the Ella Rae Rustic Aran. This is classic so it could classify as an Aran weight. As always, I would definitely check your gauge because you'll probably have to hook down with the thinner yarn. So the Ella Rae Rustic Aran is New Zealand wool and silk. Excuse me. It's a 75-25 blend, and there are 208 yards in this hank. So this particular sweater vest, I took notes so I wouldn't have to try and deal with technology. It takes 950 to 1900 yards depending on the size. This is very size inclusive. It is you can do a men's extra small all the way through a 3XL. So lots of size ranges in there. So depending on the size of sweater you would need to make, you're probably looking at 4 to upwards of 10 skeins of this guy. So I pulled some colors that I thought were really fatherly. Thanks for the hearts, you guys. I love seeing those go up the screen. So this color is called Magnolia, and this is a very nice cream color. I really think the cream would show the texture off really, really nicely. Then there is Ashwood. This is a very pale gray. Again, another color that I think would show the texture off really, really well because it is paler. And then for those guys, for those dads who love color, this one is called Wasabi, and it is wasabi green. And this is Muscari, and I would classify it kind of as a true denim blue. What's really cool about this yarn too is it's got a little bit of a tweedy effect to it from the fiber combination. Hey Gloria! So that is the Ella Rae Rustic Aran. It is $17.99 per wall or per hank, and you've got 208 yards here. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Sorry, it was kind of funny going from Michigan back to Colorado because it was very, very humid there, and you get back here and it's really, really dry. Another suggestion for this particular sweater vest, I'm gonna move my mouse so that it doesn't go to sleep, would be the Blueface Leicester. This you're definitely gonna want to check your gauge on because it is a little bit thinner. So this guy, you would probably need to change your hook size to get that texture. But this is $19.99 per hank. Again, it's a worsted weight. It's 100% wool, and both of these yarns I showed you are hand wash only. So these cannot go in the washing machine. But I love the texture of the Blueface Leicester. I love that kind of looser ply to it. I think that would still show off the texture really, really well. I think the texture of the yarn won't take away from the texture of the project. And let's see here, there are 202 yards in here, so about the same, just 6 yards shy of where the Ella Rae is. So you'd still need about 4 to 10 depending on the size you need. And I pulled these two colors because they're great colors. This is Juniper, and I know I'm standing under the skylight, so it's kind of affecting the color a little bit, but this is kind of a yellow-green, definitely more green than yellow, but just enough to kind of lighten the color a little. And this is Pacific. Pacific is kind of what I would say a grayish teal. So, and this has a fantastic feel to it. It's very bouncy, and this would make a fantastic sweater vest. Then, last but not least, I think this might be kind of a stretch, but I think it would look really cool, is Noro Silk Garden. So, Noro Silk Garden is also a worsted weight, so again, you're going to check your gauge. It's $15.99 per ball. This is 100 meters, which is going to be about 106 yards, and it is a silk mohair wool blend. So I think this would look really cool with the texture. It would also create kind of a neat striping effect. So this is color 47, and Noro actually did a guy's sweater out of this colorway, and it looked really, really cool. It wasn't as bright and in your face as some of the normal Noro stripes are. And if you want to go even a little bit more sedate than that, there is color 269. And this has a very subtle stripe to it. The stripe is still there, it's just not quite as bright. So it's kind of a cream into a taupe, back again into a cream. Now, I know that there are some fathers out there who absolutely love their color, and way to go, guys. I'm so proud of you. This is color 470, and this is teals, blues, and golds. And that would look really, really awesome in a sweater vest. And then this one's kind of a shop favorite color. This is color 84. This has oranges, reds, magentas, a little bit of kind of olive green in there. And this is probably one of the most popular colors of Silk Garden. Seriously, it sells out in every store. So again, Silk Garden is $15.99 worsted weight and about 106 yards per skein. So let me go to the next project I want to share with you guys. Isn't technology great? So another thing, I know it's kind of hard to see on there, I do apologize. Another thing that they said is incredibly popular are cables. So I thought, why not combine the two, a cable and a sweater vest, cable sweater vest. So this is Delius by Bristol Ivy. That is spelled D-E-L-I-U-S. And this is a really cool sweater. It's got just kind of a rib texture up the middle, and I'm gonna kind of describe it to you because the picture's not showing up as nicely lead-like. On either side of that center panel, it has two cables going up to the shoulders. It's a nice V-neck, and let me see. I might be able to get a close-up on those cables. See if that's a little better. Ah, that's better. So you can see the rib down the middle and then two cables on either side. And I love the V-neck for that. So for that, you're going to need your cable needles or your cable hooks. So just to show you guys what we have, I've pulled over every single cable needle or hook we have in this shop. So these are the Brittany cable needles. They are made from sustainably harvested birch. And let me pull these guys out. So these are these really super nice cable needles. And I know it's kind of hard to see on there, but on this guy you can kind of see there's a little divot in the middle where you would hold your stitches that need to be cabled. So there are 3 sizes in there. So you've got the small one for your fingering through sport, the middle-sized one for your DK through worsted, and then the bigger one for anything bigger than that. So those guys are $7.99 and you get a set of 3. And then we've got Clover cable needles and cable hooks. So the first one we have is the cable needle from Clover. And again, these also come with 3 separate sizes. So you've got the big, the medium, and the small. So if you're doing a cable, you'd feed your stitches onto that middle part and let it hang from your work from there. So these guys are $4.50 and they are made of plastic. So you get 3 in that set. And then this is what I prefer to use. I prefer to use a hook as opposed to a needle just because I like that. It feels like it's a little more added security because the J kind of captures those stitches and holds onto them. So there's 3 sizes in there too, small, medium, and large. And those guys are $3.99 for the set of 3. And then if you're working with super bulky yarns, we've got these Clover cable hooks that are for super bulky yarns, and these are $4.50 for 2. So this guy is a worsted weight sweater, so that kind of rules these guys out. I wouldn't use these, but any of these other sets would work for it. So because this is worsted, any of the yarns that I have showed you will work for this guy as well. This one has sizes, I believe it's extra small through extra large, so it'll take anywhere from 880 to 1,320 yards because the cables in the rib do eat up a lot of yarn, so it's going to take more yarn. So for this project, what I thought would be really cool is when I'm cabling, I don't like to use really loud yarns because I want the cables to be able to speak. So I pulled this Alegria Grande. This is by Monostil Uruguay, and it is a semi-solid. I like the semi-solid because it's not too loud, but it has a little color variation in it, so it will show the cables beautifully. So this is worsted weight. It is 75 merino, 25% polyamide superwash, and this stuff is super, super soft and super wonderful to work with. Let's see here. The tag open. There we go. So it is $29.99. There are 197 yards in here. So you're looking at least 7 to make the vest, probably up to about 11 skeins. So this is foil, and foil is a nice gray. It goes from a very pale gray into kind of a medium gray, so it's not very dark at all. And then this guy is coal, and coal is definitely a charcoal gray, much darker than the foil. In fact, if you're doing color work, these would be really, really cool together if you're wanting something a little more subtle. So coal is charcoal gray and kind of a darker charcoal gray. I wouldn't say it goes into black at all. It doesn't get that dark. So again, that is worsted weight. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% polyamide. And you can machine wash this. I, again, never ever ever put anything hand knit or crocheted in the dryer, so this is lay flat to dry. And there are 197 yards, and it's $29.99 per skein. That's by Monostil Uruguay. Alrighty, we move on to my next project here. I really like that cabled vest. I think it is awesome. Alright, so let's talk about electronic devices. Tablets, phones. If you need a cover of some kind, you can always make one. And I think this is an excellent Father's Day gift because it will protect Dad's investment, essentially, because we all know tablets and phones aren't cheap. So this is a crocheted tablet cover, and I love this stitch in here. It's got a lot of texture in it. I think what's really cool is not only is texture pretty, but because it has that added yarn there, you've got that added layer of protection to the device. And I love the little button closures, so it's very simple. You're not trying to sew in a zipper or make buttonholes. This is simply just a chain that you would sew to the project, and then you just loop it around the button. So this, any tablet cover or cell phone cover is a pretty quick and easy project. This particular pattern too has hints on how to adjust the size of the pattern for the device. It's written specifically for iPads, but it is adjustable for like Kindles or cell phones. So this is the mobile device cover by Rebecca Langford, and this is crocheted. And this also takes worsted weight yarn, and it only takes 130 to 150 yards depending on the size of the device that you're making it for. I'm going to take a sip of tea real quick. Sorry about that, I'm so dry right now. So this wouldn't even take a full skein of worsted weight. So, excuse me, this would be fantastic for any scraps you may have left over from another project. But I have some yarn suggestions for this guy too. Now, one of my fondest memories of my father's, we were trying to introduce him to color. Dad was very much into kind of bland, you know, grays, whites, that sort of color range, which there's nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly fine. But it's kind of nice to have a little pop of color in there. So I figured if you've got a father that you need to kind of introduce him to color, or if he loves color already, I have a great suggestion for this. Why not use Supermoon Worsted by Hummingbird Moon? So this guy's $31.95. This is 100% superwash merino wool. It's 218 yards. So you can almost get 2 tablet covers out of here, or a tablet cover and a cell phone cover out of just one skein of yarn. So this is called, color's called Witch, You're a Witch. And I love this because it's half gray and half tie-dye. And this has a little bit of purple, some turquoise, and a yellowish green in there. And that would be really cool. I don't know if it would stripe, but it might. So that would look really cool out of that. For those of us who love our purple, this is Evil Stepmother. I love this colorway. Not only because it's purple, but the name is just awesome. It's a tonal, so you've got little splecks of lighter color in there, and then a deep dark purple. And then for those who like a more calmer color, this is a speckle. This is called Embrace the Darkness. and this has a very nice creamy white base with little flecks of green. There's a little bit of purple and burgundy in there. So the color on this for the mobile device cover would be a tiny bit more random. But again, this is Supermoon worsted, 218 yards of Superwash Merino. Have a good night, Gail. And it is $31.95 per hank. It's got more colors than this, but I just thought these reminded me more of Father's Day. And speaking of which, sorry, I got lost in my notes here. Hi, Teresa.
Hi there.
If your dad likes color, here's another great yarn for the mobile device cover. How about Rios? Rios is 210 yards. Can you see okay?
Yep.
This is the crocheted one. I'm trying to do both knit and crochet projects.
Oh, okay.
This is also a free pattern too. I have it saved to my library, and one of these days I will make it. So Rios would also work. Don't you dare go to sleep on me. Sorry, talking to the computer. Sometimes it listens. Rios would also work. This is 210 yards, so just 8 yards shy of what the Supermoon is at. Again, you could get almost 2 tablet covers out of it, or a tablet cover and a cell phone cover, out of just one skein of yarn. And I, of course, pulled the one that looks a little wonky.
Great to wind.
Yeah, actually, I think this one would be easy to wind. So Rios again is a worsted weight. It is $17.99, and this guy is a new color. This is called Siri, and Siri is a gray base with flecks of orange and brown, and actually the oranges kind of vary in tone. There's a really bright true orange, and then there's more of a yellowy orange. I've used a yarn similar, or a colorway similar to this from Malabrigo and Rios, and the color speckles are very random, so there's no striping. They just pop up when they pop up. Then there's Arco Iris. I love this color. I've used it for myself. This particular batch has a little bit more green and yellow to it. The batch that I bought had more purple, so of course I had to get it. But this is definitely more on the warmer side. Hey Gail, you're back. So that is the Arco Iris, and then this is Teal Feather, and teal. This is a great shade of teal. Teal is fantastic. Excuse me. For gender neutral projects, it's great for both guys and girls. So when we have people coming into the shop asking about yarn for baby products and they don't know the gender, I always recommend teal because teal is it's great for everybody. So again, that is Rios by Malabrigo, $17.99 per hank. And the pattern again is the mobile device cover by Rebecca Langford, and I will plug these patterns into the chat line once we're done here. I'm going to take another sip real quick. So that is the crochet version. So I found another spiffy knit pattern. So this is, here we go. This is the Sturdy and Cushy Kindle Sleeve by Studio 885 Knits. And this utilizes DK weight yarn, but it uses 2 strands held together. So again, like the crocheted one where you have the puffier stitch, which helps protect the device better, here you've got the 2 layers of yarn that will help, again, protect the device. And again, you've got a little chain just holding onto the buttons. So this is super, super simple moss stitch project, and I think it's really cool. I think these mobile device covers are a really neat idea. Again, these are completely changeable. You can make them for a larger iPad, smaller iPad, Kindle. This is a great, great present in my honest opinion. So this uses 2 strands of DK white yarn held together. So I had a couple ideas for this guy as well. So this is the Pima Soft by Barocco.
Just looking.
Okay.
I want to see pictures too.
You want to see, Teresa wants to see pictures too. So this is Pima Soft by Barocco. This guy is hand wash only, lay flat to dry. It is $9.99 for 124 yards, and it is 100% Pima cotton. This particular device cover uses 185 yards of DK weight, but again, it is held double. So this is 124 yards per skein. So you would hold two of these guys together, and I thought, why hold two of the same color together? You can hold two different colors together and come up with a really cool textured look. I love cotton for something like this because cotton is very, very sturdy. I love cotton for making bags, washcloths, anything that's going to see a lot of abuse, or as we prefer to say, get really loved. So the Pima cotton has, or Pima Soft, excuse me, has this really cool ply to it. So on top of holding the two colors together to get this finished look, you've got that added little bit of texture in there from the yarn itself. So it would be really cool. So I've got, right here, I've got color 4620 and 4602. So that's kind of a teal and a white.
You'll see a yarn.
And then you can also do 4640 with the
If
white.
you go to
I think that would be really cool. I love that kind of stark contrast between
Where
the
are
two.
you?
Or the, I think it's called Cantaloupe. It's 4632, also with the white. If you want to go really wild and crazy, how about the Cantaloupe with the turquoise? Just kind of depending on what your dad likes. So
Okay,
again, the Pima Soft is DK weight. There's 124 yards per skein, and it is 100% Pima cotton. And this is hand wash only, and it's $9.99 per skein. All right.
Okay.
So another suggestion would be the Remix Light, and I love Remix Light because it is 100% recycled fibers, and it's got this really sweet, tweedy effect to it. So Remix Light is 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10 silk, and 9 linen. So one of these skeins has 432 yards in it. So what you could do, and this skein is $15. What you could do is you could wind a ball from it, and you'd have more than enough yarn here to go ahead and wind a ball and have hold two strands of it together.
And there's a parking lot.
So 432 yards is great yardage. You could get multiple covers out of it. You could do a tablet cover and a hat, just whatever strikes your fancy. So I love this color. This is color 6977. I believe it's called Cool, and it is a lovely teal color. And I would define this as a very true teal because it's equal parts green and equal parts blue. Hey, Gloria. Teresa will say hi to you as soon as she's off the phone. So, there's that. So you could split it in half and have plenty of yarn to just hold those two strands together. Now with this being Colorado, I know we've got some Bronco fans out there, so I've got Broncos colors for you guys. So this is color number 6982, and this is called Blue Moon. This is actually one of the new colors of Remix Light. And then this is color 6997. This is Apricot, also a new color. So there are your Denver Broncos colors right there for those of you who are Broncos fans. So you could definitely hold these two together and create, oh gosh, what did I do? Ha, there we go. So you can hold these two together and create a Denver Broncos themed tablet cover and still have enough yarn left over to do hats, mittens. Mittens are always great. I love wool mittens for shoveling snow. So that's another great idea for dads. Marie Ramos, oh thank you Marie. Do you want to wave hi to Gloria, Teresa?
Hi, Gloria.
There we go. So again, this project is called the Sturdy and Cushy Kindle Sleeve by Studio 885 Knits. All of these patterns I am showing you are on Ravelry. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. I believe this one might be free. I'll have to take a look. So again, the Remix Light would be fantastic for this. DK weight, $15, 100% recycled fibers in here. This is also a great yarn for any fathers out there who might have sensitivities to animal fibers. There are no animal fibers in this yarn. So again, $15 DK weight, and there's 432 yards in here, which is really, really generous. So, I've only got one more project to show you guys. I figured I would keep Fiber at 4 kind of short tonight because I know you want to spend time with your husbands, your fathers, your grandfathers. So, I figured what better way to wrap this up than with a project that features one of my favorite fathers. Keep in mind, I am a geek. Okay, how about the most notorious father in cinematic history, Darth Vader? So, thanks, Gloria. I'm so glad you were able to join us tonight. So, Darth Vader. There are several Darth Vader patterns on Ravelry. I thought this guy was the funnest. Out of page 1, there are many, many, many pages of Darth Vader. So this one is called Darth Vader Star Wars Amigurumi. This is by LensCraft. I just got that, LensCraft. But it's spelled LENN''S craft. Hey, look, my brother likes the Darth Vader.
Awesome.
So I figured it wouldn't be Father's Day without mentioning Darth Vader. So this guy uses very minimal yardage. I forgot to write down how much he takes, but I would be willing to bet it takes 50 to 60 yards probably at most of the main color. I think
What's his main color?
Really, Teresa just asked me what Darth Vader's main color is. So this also would be an excellent, excellent way to use up scrap yarn. This again is a worsted weight project. You could use yarn for his little gadgets, but I think what they used here was embroidery floss, which would work just as well because any color you put on there against that black is really, really gonna pop. So what I would recommend if you don't have enough scraps in your collection for this little guy, is Ultra Wool. Also too, for the eyes, you want to use buttons with a shank on them, and what I mean are not the buttons that lie flat. They have that little piece on the back so that they stick up a little bit. If you use flat buttons, it's going to make his eyes kind of sink into his head a little bit. And again, if you are making this for a very young child, don't use buttons, don't use safety eyes, embroider his eyes on. So Ultra Wool would be fantastic for our little friend here. Ultra Wool is worsted weight. It is $12.55 per skein. This is color 3334, and I believe that's called cast iron. There are 219 yards in this guy. You could probably get like 10 Darth Vaders out of this. Yes, Henry's dad would love that. For those of you who don't know who Henry is my puppy. And he is with my husband right now, who is his dad, who is also a huge Star Wars fan. So this is the Ultra Wool worsted weight, 100% superwash wool. This can go in the washing machine, but again, don't put it in the dryer, it might felt. So I would use this for the main part of Darth Vader. And then this is color 3350, I believe it's called Chili, which would be great for his lightsaber. Darth Vader has a red lightsaber. And all the gears and gadgets and stuff on his suit. Got a gray, a green, and it looks like there's a little bit of blue. I didn't pull blue. So, and a little bit of red. So the green, this is Holly green, which is 3335, and the gray is 33109. I believe that's called Fog. So the little gears and gadgets and everything would just take minimal amounts of the yarn. So this would be a great scrap yarn project. It would be great with the Ultra Wool. Any yarn you may have left over from blankets, and some embroidery floss would be great for his little lights yeah, I just thought it was fun, and it's Father's Day. We need to talk about Darth Vader. I believe you could probably easily make this into a stormtrooper too. Just change the main color of the body, so you get 2 for the price of 1 with this pattern. You can make a Darth Vader or a stormtrooper. So that's me going off on my little Star Wars tangent. So that is all I have for Fiber at 4 today, and just very happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and happy Father's Day to all the kids out there, because without you guys, they wouldn't be fathers. So, just a reminder too, if you have a dad who is crafty, we do have gift certificates. So if you can't think of any specific item your father might like, we have gift certificates, so he can definitely come in and pick out what he needs or wants. And we too also have the gift registry. The gift registry is great for year-round gift giving. You come in, you fill it out, you write down the specific yarn you want, the color you want, the amount you need, or any needles, notions, hooks, petals, looms you might need. And we actually keep that on file here. We keep it filed under your last name. So all the people who need to buy gifts for you have to do is come in, we hand them the registry, and we help walk them through what you're asking for. And we also have little hint cards to give out with those, so that you can just hand them to your gift giving person. Say, hey, go to the Longmont Yarn Shop and you can find what I need. So those are a couple other options too, if you have a crafty dad, and I know you guys are out there. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. I hope you guys have a lovely Father's Day. I hope you have a wonderful time celebrating and spending time together. And we will see you next week, and I will be here next week. No more traveling for a little while, but we will be talking about beach-themed items. So I hope you have a lovely Father's Day, and we will see you next week.